Again, this is part 3 of the part what's it called, paper 1, past questions GCSE, though I found this to be also relevant to other examination bodies sincerely, but it's okay. Now draw one line from each tissue to its function. So the epidermis, it says allow diffusion of gas through the leaf. That cannot be that. Really? Okay, it depends. Allows light through the photosynthesizing part. That should be the, yeah, that should be that. This is more going to be more of stomata. Yeah. Phloem allows water into the leaves, transport sugar around the leaf. That's phloem. This function is going to be for xylem, which transport water and dissolve minerals. Then spongy mesophyll are allows diffusion of gas. Okay. Through leaves, please. Through leaves. It's going to be this. I was thinking that if it is into, but it says through. If you remember the diagram in part 1, where I showed you, let me go back there real quick. If you can, yes, good. This spongy mesophyll. This one. So it allows air. In fact, we call this air space. Air spaces. That's what we call it really. Yeah, so that makes it that way. I think it was necessary I go back to that real quick. And if you're interested, you might want to go to that particular video and check. Check part 2. All right. That was part 2, yes. Moving on. Use the words from the box to complete figure 1 by putting the parts of the body in order of size from smallest to the biggest. Okay, so after cell, the next thing we should have is going to be tissue. This is called organization of cells, of structures. So this is going to be organs, then organ system, or sometimes for short, system. Complete the table to show whether each structure is an organ or an organ system or a tissue. So stomach is an organ. Lining of the stomach is a tissue, talking about all those glandular cells, epithelial cells. The mouth, stomach, that's a system. Yeah, because it's a collection of organs, as it were. Blood is transported around the body in blood vessels. Draw one line from each type of blood vessel to the structure of the blood vessels. So type of blood vessel, you draw the line. So the one that is artery is this. Why? Because it has a very thick endothelium. This is endothelium inside. It has elastic fiber. So this is this is collagen fiber, elastic fiber, endothelium. So this is collagen, elastic fiber, then endothelium. So this is the vein. Why? Because it has a thin layer and the lumen is quite wide. But in artery, the lumen is narrow. So we used to call this resistance vessels, because blood forces itself through it because it's really narrow and because the wall is thick, but the wall is elastic anyways. Then vein is called capacitance vessels. Why? Because it has capacity for a lot of blood. So capacitance vessel, because blood, it's wider, so it contains or it carries large amount of blood. Then apparently this is going to be capillary. Why? Because it is just one cell thick. So because one cell thick, it allows diffusion of substances in and out of itself. All right. Explain how the structure of an artery is related to its function. Beautiful. It has a thick wall. All right. It has a thick wall which makes it um tr- sorry, it has a thick and narrow, let me just, it has a thick wall and narrow lumen, which makes blood travel at a fast speed, or travel at high pressure. At high pressure, yeah, I think that's better. At high pressure. Next point. Well, I think to some extent, sometimes it may even state it as it is thick and has a narrow lumen. Then the next point can still be so, which makes it travel at blood travel um, at high pressure. This is lumen, please. I think I have to slow down. Then you can see that the walls are made, please pardon me, the walls are made of elastic fiber, which makes it expand and recoil when blood is pumped by the heart. Now, let me explain that. If you touch some part of the body, you feel some pulse. Pulse is felt through the arterial wall, basically. So as your heart pumps the blood, boom, boom, your artery goes like that. If you see my video on organization, it's this already on YouTube already. You see the wall of the artery goes like that, like that. It expands. So that's because the wall is made up of elastic fiber. So it once the heart pumps blood, it expands a bit to give room for the blood like that when it recoils like that. So that's why I said the walls are made of elastic fiber, which makes it to expand and also recoil when blood is pumped by the heart. All right, that made sense. Explain. Okay, this is going to be, this is more like repetition. Yes, it is. The image below shows blood viewed through a microscope. So name A and B in the image. If this is red blood cells, then A is white blood cells, otherwise called leukocytes, excuse me, otherwise called leukocytes. While the B is going to be platelets, otherwise called thrombocytes. Bear in mind that, how did I know that this is, because this has lobed nucleus. Red blood cells don't have nucleus as it were, and these platelets are more like fragments. So these are platelets. These are platelets. But once you see a cell that has an obvious nucleus, it is white blood cell, and this is one of them as it were. A red blood cell has no nucleus, contains a red pigment called hemoglobin. Suggests how these adaptations help the red blood cells carry out its function. The fact that it has no nucleus gives room for hemoglobin, actually. Hemoglobin. So the absence of the nucleus now makes it possible for us to have hemoglobin within the red blood cell. And what's the function of hemoglobin? Helps to transport respiratory gases such as carbon dioxide and oxygen, and sadly also carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is just CO. Why did I say sadly? Because carbon monoxide is a deadly gas that can kill, and sadly it is 15 times it's going to bind 15 times faster even than oxygen. Yes. So hemoglobin will accept carbon monoxide faster, 15 times faster than it will accept oxygen. That's why we used to say that when a generator set for in Africa and all of those countries that use that, you point the generator set, the exhaust pipe should be pointed outside, because carbon monoxide is a very gentle destructive gas. When it comes into the system, not only that is it that oxygen will not be able to bind, the oxygen that is there before, like you have oxygen here, oxygen was here, carbon monoxide can literally kick out oxygen. Yes. So it can even displace oxygen and stay there. So that's why it is very deadly. There has been a lot of cases of people that inhaled carbon dioxide and died in their sleep. So that's a caution. Okay, so this will be the end of part 3. So the next video is going to be part 4, which will be the last part.